Hello everyone, I hope you're having a brilliant day and welcome to Sanctus Arca, but you can call me Arca for short. I will be responsible for bringing you boss rankings of your favorite games, both main and optional ones. These lists will either be games I choose or ones you personally request, even where the bosses might be difficult to interpret from basic enemy. These rankings will consist of lore, basically what I have found, or personal thoughts on what their motivations could be at this point, the scenery as in the boss arena and what feelings it invokes, the actual fight itself such as boss moves and mechanics, the entertainment value of fighting these bosses on the first time or across multiple playthroughs, and finally the design on the boss itself. The ranking on this list and every other list from now on will be my own personal thoughts on how I feel during these encounters, so without further ado, let us commence. At the bottom of this list is Boudica, her first fight on the bridge in chapter 4. Honestly though, there isn't really much to say about her lore at this stage, but from what I have gathered from her intro scene, she is only doing this to save her people as she orders her men to stay back when she first engages you in combat. The two of you clash and you inevitably force her to retreat as she sends her men to kill you. You later on pursue her to the point where she is inevitably captured and alongside her father, and both are brought to York. The arena itself is simple in design, but I do enjoy fighting here, if not for being surrounded by the forest atop the dim looking floorboards that look like any of them could give out at any moment. There's also a giant piece of stone being held here in the air that gives you a sense that it will play some involvement in the story progression. I haven't been able to get much of a feel for it, but those factors do make this an environment that I do quite enjoy fighting in. Boudica herself only uses twin swords, which you get enough practice face against in this mission because you encounter some easy enemies that are easier to fight. They are easy enough to block, but she does throw an unblockable at the end of some of her combos, but you can shield bash her 3 times I've noticed, which allows you to then score an easy 2 hits. One combo where it ends with 3 hits being able to be parried, but she does throw an unblockable. That combo has 4 hits where she will then later end with an unblockable. There isn't really much I can really say about this fight, but to be fair, it was one that I did enjoy facing against, as it's easy to block her and to get some hits, but Boudica, as everyone else on this list, don't allow you to get too greedy like in most other games. You can score 2 hits, but after that she's back on the offensive, so this was a real treat to be introduced to, as every enemy before now, you've been able to just combo them until you can execute them, so I look forward to facing her again in future playthroughs. In my mind, her appearance suited her well, as her design feels like it focuses more on a speed build rather than overall power, like the next one on our list. Before now, every enemy you face against were slow and allowed you to strike them and combo them until you were able to execute them, so this was a very good change of pace, and I think she is very deserving of a rank on this list. And then at the number 3rd spot on this list is Lot, who is fought in chapter 5. Lot has much more going for him than Boudica's first stage. He actually appears before you at the beginning of chapter 5 after you and your unit have been ambushed, before he proceeds to kick you off a cliff. When you come to, you begin to rush through the swamp where you see him burning some of your men alive in cages as a part of a ritual. After saving your men and proceeding further, you find yourself walking towards a wicker man where only the most valuable are believed to be sacrificed. You see the remainder of your men and General Commodus, who we will definitely get into a bit later on, has been placed in cages around. Vitalian himself has been placed in the head of the wicker man. Lot himself is seen upon some makeshift throne when he sees you are still alive. Standing to his feet and roaring like a beast, he picks up a torch and throws it upon the wicker man as it burns before charging at you, determined to end your life once and for all. The area in which you fight Lot is much smaller than Boudica's. Seeing your men and General Commodus trapped in wooden cages gives you the feel of an all or nothing clash, especially with the wicker man burning as you continue to trade blows. Lot is basically the exact same as the larger enemies you face in the swamp prior to your journey here. It is best to just roll out the way and make him and then proceed to strike him for an easy 2 hit. Continue this method until you see the cutscene. After this, he will enter a second phase. It isn't all that different, except you cannot damage him when he flashes red during attacking sequences. There is also a charge attack in which is very easy to be telegraphed, especially when he gets closer to you. All you gotta do is then counter him and strike him in a quick attack, rinse and repeat until you eventually defeat him. This boss is different, and that is most definitely a plus in my books, but I feel like they've ruined him slightly by allowing you to practice on bigger enemies beforehand. Maybe if they had not done that, then he could have been ranked higher on this list. If there's one thing I think this boss really has, and if what's shown through, was the fact that when you first encountered this monster of a man, to see him wearing the Minotaur styled helmet, it just sent shivers down my spine in an oh shit yeah kind of moment. This here looks to be the coolest of everyone on this list by far, whereas they didn't just make it with the basic armor or rag sort of style, but they made him look to be more of a beast than man. Seeing him swing around his great axe as if it were a common stick also added to the image they wanted to create with his boss, so top marks on that. And at the number 2 spot, we have General Commodus. There is probably so much I can say regarding the lore of this man, but long story short, he is probably one of the most villainous characters I've ever known in all my histories of gaming, and it is this reason which is why he is one of my most satisfying kills. From the moment you save him from Glot, he does nothing but belittle everyone around him, claiming to be their superior in a matter of everything. Commodus only fights for himself and his own image, hence why when you eventually earn the honor to face him in the Colosseum, even with him bribing the other gladiators, that whoever kills you will be rewarded handsomely, but it ultimately proves fruitless, as Commodus even uses every advantage at his disposal before he ultimately paying the price of his vanity with his life. The Colosseum is probably the most fitting place in my books to put down this utter disgrace of a general, especially considering he has rigged it to his advantage, and yet you still prevail. Colosseum will definitely be remembered fondly as I think about this game, because no matter how many times I play it, I will always smile when I think back to this battle with the perfect setting. As far as the battle mechanics go, Commodus uses the basic sword and shield combo throughout each phase. His first phase is by far the most simple, as all you need to do is parry and then get 2 easy hits in. Keep on doing this until you finish his health bar. You will know it is the second phase by the cutscene. When it is over, he has other doppelgangers who look like him and can still be used to your advantage, as you can either get a damage bonus or a regen bonus when you execute the last of them if you're quick enough. You can parry and cut down over a third of his health bar by making the second phase thus a piece of cake. The third phase isn't much different than the previous two, but this time he will only start with half a health bar this time. You can parry and strike, nothing else will work against him. I've found that even with the extended duration that not much changes, and it is still an easy and satisfying fight. One thing I wish to say is that if there was ever mechanics used, then this fight may have been pushed to the number 1 position. In regards to the entertainment factor, even though I do find it a bit droll to listen to Commodus about his higher power, wow, melancholy, I do find this fight to be enjoyable, if only to be able to kill him. The extra bodies in the second phase make it easy to get some regen on the hardest difficulties. Just gotta parry and not be too greedy, as I like to be when it comes to boss fights. Lord knows how much I have paid the price for it. At first glance, Commodus looked exactly like I thought he would be. Not overly bulky like Glot or more speed orientated like Boudica, Commodus looked perfect in my mind. A spoiled Geki. His armor does suit his character perfectly with a snake emblem on his chest. Commodus's armor is flashy with the gold and purple combo. I might have hated his character, but not even I can deny that this guy offered the most diverse fight of all boss battles in this game. Now let's see who has claimed the first spot. And here at number 1 we have Boudica, who has claimed the first spot. Yes, you have all heard it, Boudica, her second fight, has claimed the winner. Whereas in her first encounter there was not much to go on, but now I have a much firmer grasp of her motivations. From the moment you captured her, to seeing her father being murdered before her and then being manipulated by the god of the northern wind, she has rallied every barbarian tribe and now assaults Rome. She killed one of my favourite characters, hopefully anyone who has actually played this game, Vitalian, although it wasn't personal, a wrong place, wrong time sort of thing. I like her because both your characters and hers can relate on a more personal level, seeing as both your parents were killed by the greedy Emperor Nero. This sort of made both of you have a mutual understanding but cannot back down from your current courses. Boudica wants to take all of Rome, whereas you just want to cut the head off the snake. Even after the clash, when you hesitate, Boudica urges you on and they both acknowledge that maybe in another life there could have been something more. I'm a fan of this course of action as it does inspire a bit more drama, which I do still love in gaming. Boudica's arena this time is the biggest of them all, except maybe Commodus, but he only has 1, whereas Boudica has 2. I do get a kick out seeing both your characters and clashing as Rome is under assault. The setting is perfect, the dark atmosphere, as you are both duking it out for what you both believe is the best course of action in how to kill Emperor Nero. During the second phase, you can see both Romans and barbarians clashing in the background as if to signify your own duel. It's a small details like this that truly makes this one of the most enjoyable boss battles in my book. There aren't too many changes in the mechanics for this, but she does appear to be a lot more ferocious this time, and she has a combo with a few more hits that need to be parried, but she does still end it with an unblockable. Boudica has this quake attack in her second phase where she slams both swords in the ground, but that is easy enough to dodge and then attack. You can't be too greedy, as she will punish you more this time around. The entertainment value for this one was so much better than the first time, as we get a lot more depth to her character. The murder of her father and the machinations of the god drove her to sack Rome. It might be another simple revenge story, but this is one I will hold in much higher regards than the others. Perhaps it's the slight romance between your characters hold for each other, as it is the only time when Marius seems to hesitate when delivering the final kill. If not for her insistence that he ends her life, she is still a very enjoyable boss for both first timers and veterans of this game. Her physical design this time is still the exact same as it was in chapter 4, but the one thing I would like to make mention of is the fact how when you're both trading blows, her cheek does become marked and her blood does start to pool on the floor. This is also present in her first battle, but it wouldn't have changed the overall ranking for her spot. Still, to add this for only her character, or maybe it could have been harder to notice on the other bosses, I'll never know. Anyway, everyone, with Boudica's second stage winning the gold for this boss ranking, my next project I will be tackling is going to be GTA 4. I'll be aiming for weekly uploads, or maybe within the 2-week mark, but I had a lot of fun doing this, so you can definitely expect more content such as this. If you have a specific game and you would like to see it, then why not comment it down in the comments. If you did enjoy this and wish to show your support by smashing that like button and subscribing, I'm your man Arca, signing out.